SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Welcome in, everybody, to this Rebel Report Extra. My name is Michael Borky. Always glad that you are with me. Tonight, I'm bringing you, as promised, the conversation that Hadad and I had with Ole Miss, former Ole Miss offensive lineman and current Patriot Ben Brown. He is getting ready for the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys knew this. There's a kind of a big game coming up, and his team is playing in it on Sunday. And unfortunately, it's not particularly long. It's only about 11 minutes long because radio segments being short and all that stuff. But in that 11 minutes is a pretty outstanding conversation. He is an infectious personality. You guys are going to love him, I promise. So I'm excited for you to hear it. I know our radio audience absolutely loved it, and I know you guys are as well. Before I play it for you, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Just search Rebel Report and subscribe and leave a rating and a review. Please subscribe to the podcast feed. Can't talk tonight. Been a long day. Just at 3 hours of radio is what it is. But if you're watching or listening on YouTube, please subscribe to the podcast feed. I really would appreciate that. So don't forget to subscribe there. Also leave a comment, like all that good stuff right here on YouTube. And this edition is presented by Logan Smith, Shelter Insurance, anywhere in Mississippi. If you need auto, home, life, or business, anywhere in Mississippi. He's got award-winning services. And look, even if you already have auto insurance or life insurance or home, it's worth the phone call. It's worth talking to him because you might get a great rate, and I know you're going to get great service. Check him out, 601-823-3500, 601-823-3500. Auto, home, life, or business insurance. Logan Smith will take care of you at Shelter Insurance anywhere in Mississippi. Also, Priority One Bank, to make you their priority every single day with their online banking platform, 16 locations in Mississippi, local loan servicing and decision-making. Switch to Priority One Bank. Bank with me at Priority One Bank all over the state of Mississippi, and it's in the name. They'll make you their priority. All right, here that conversation is right now, me and Hadad on Sports Talk Mississippi, talking to Ben Brown, the Patriot and Ole Miss alum.
Mississippi's own, the Super Bowl participant, Ben Brown from the New England Patriots. Ben, we're going to get into the Super Bowl. We're going to get into this incredible season y'all have had up there in New England, but I got to ask a question to start. What do you want to tell me about hourglasses?
Did Russ Nelson put you up to that?
You know Coach Nelson had me do that one. Yes, sir.
Man, that's hilarious. So when I was in high school, Coach Nelson, he helped coach the O-line, and we did all these brutal exercise regiments, and one of them was called hourglasses. And so what he did was he set up cones the length of the football field that mimicked the shape of an hourglass. And I think Coach Nelson probably had a little bit too much time on his hands to come up with something as egregious as what that was. But so we started in the far corner of the end zone, and then we would bear crawl probably to the 50-yard line, get up, sprint, and then bear crawl to the opposite end zone, and kept doing repetitions of bear crawling and sprinting. I'm pretty sure we had rolls at one point as well, into the whole shape of an hourglass. And let me tell you, those were not fun.
That's great. You should have had him doing it, that big guy. So, oh well.
Oh, man.
Ben, we really appreciate you joining us. Talk to us about this season, because coming into the year, the Patriots last year, they struggled. New coach, but a veteran coach, new quarterback in Drake May in his second year, and you guys have just been a juggernaut this year. What has this season been like up there?
Yeah, it's been a tremendous season. I think everyone's really enjoyed it. I think that we have a lot of great players on our team, and obviously a lot of great coaches as well. And I think Coach Vrabel has done a great job in really establishing an identity for this team early in training camp and early during OTAs this summer. And I think that's really paid dividends for us this season, because we have a standard that we're going to practice to and that we're going to perform to every single Sunday.
You go undrafted, and you have a couple of stops along the way. Did you envision being in this spot? Not only did you just recently sign a new contract to stay with New England, but I mean you're about to play in the Super Bowl. Has that sunk in yet, considering your journey to get to this point?
I mean, honestly, it hasn't. I don't think it's fully sunk in yet. It probably won't until we're out in California next week. But but it has. It's been a very long journey. There's been a lot of adversity that I've had to face with my NFL career. It's not been a typical one, but really I think what's helped me persevere is my relationship with Christ and for giving me the strength to endure some of the hardships that I've had to endure and some of the times where, my NFL path wasn't always clear. And now God's blessed me with the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, So really just I'm so very grateful for this opportunity to play on a team with guys that will be brothers for the rest of my life and for such an amazing group of coaches as well. And it's truly been a season that I'll remember forever.
And you've got Vrabel, obviously won 3 Super Bowls as a coach. He has been around this game, 3 Super Bowls as a player. So he's been there. What has his advice been to you guys in terms of preparing for this game? I mean, the halftime's longer and things like that. What has his experience been like, and how much different is this game? Forget like the stakes, but the nuts and bolts of travel and preparing in the longer halftime and stuff like that. What are you expecting next week?
Yeah, so it's obviously it's a lot different from a normal game. I think Coach Vrabel, what he does a phenomenal job of is really helping us understand with every single game that we play in, game-to-game situations that we might have, but also for things that could possibly be distractions. Like this week having it be a different week because we have an extra week of preparation and then flying all the way across the country on Sunday in California and all the distractions that come with being in the Super Bowl, all the media obligations that we may have, all the events we may have, which is a tremendous honor to be a part of, but at the end of the day, we're on a mission, and we have to stay focused on winning the Super Bowl. So,
Ben, what makes Drake May so good? He has had a fantastic second year in the league, has become one of the top quarterbacks in the sport. What is it about him that stands out?
Yeah, I think he's a very smart player, and I think he's such a talented player as well. I mean, you can see by the way he plays, he can get it done in the air and with his legs, And I think he's very smart with taking care of the football, and I think he has a complete understanding of our scheme with Coach McDaniels. And, I think that Drake also does a great job of commanding our offense, really taking the offense by the reins. And it was definitely it's a new system this year, but I think Drake has done a phenomenal job of leading our offense.
His wife has built up a big following online for being a baker. Does he bring what she makes to you guys in the offensive line room?
Absolutely, he does. So yeah, that's always a lot of fun. Whenever Ann Michael will make some stuff, she's made some cookies and some other desserts that go to the O-line room, but I will tell you, they don't last very long in there. They know the right audience, bringing all the desserts to the O-line room.
Ben, it's become a kind of a national story with you and your family. Football is such a big part of your family, and your grandfather, of course, played in the Super Bowl himself. What is, has the national media starting to pick up on that? Are you getting those interview requests saying, hey, we want to, because it feels like a great feel-good story.
Yeah, I think I've definitely had some more attention come to light because it is such a wonderful story. And, my grandfather, Alum Brown, he accomplished winning both Super Bowl I and Super Bowl II for the Green Bay Packers. But what I tell a lot of these people that I've spoken to about that is that Alum Brown was such a beacon in the community, and he was such a great man, such a strong Christian. And when I was growing up, I mean, Papa would not even talk about NFL or Super Bowl as much. We kind of just were like, oh, cool, Papa played in the Super Bowl, because that's the kind of man he was. He was a humble man, and he was a man that cared for his children and for his grandchildren, and he never wanted the spotlight to be on him. But it obviously was pretty cool wearing his little Super Bowl rings whenever I was younger.
So, Ben, I know your family, y'all are proud Ole Miss Rebels and have been for a long, long time. You're on the offensive line there with Will Campbell from LSU. Has there been some Kiffin back and forth smack talk over the past month?
Nah, I'll say this. Honestly, more so what's been neat is that, Will grew up in Monroe, Louisiana, which is just an hour from Vicksburg.
Yes, sir.
And so Will's already, probably my first or second week there, we made that connection. And Will would ask me about all the restaurants and everything in Vicksburg and say, like, oh, yeah, I love that place, So that's where we really talk more about all that.
Are you giving him the Beechwood recommendation?
Of course.
There you go.
Absolutely. Got to go to Beechwood.
Got to.
What is the biggest difference between playing offensive line in the SEC versus playing offensive line in the NFL?
Man, I'll tell you this. In the SEC, it's a little bit different. I'd say the SEC is probably the most competitive conference in college football. But when you get to the NFL, it's a different kind of competition, if that makes sense. I felt like in college, I would play some, probably a few times a year, play some guys that would be drafted pretty highly. But then we would also play, some schools that didn't have any guys that would go on to play in the NFL. So there would be talent drop-offs with some of the other teams that we might play throughout the course of a year. But in the NFL, any team you play, anyone that's on that 53-man roster can embarrass you on that football field. They are all so talented and also very good. And I'd say the speed of the game is such a huge hurdle. I remember going from high school to college, and I remember my first fall camp training practice, and we did one-on-one pass rushes, and then the defensive line would do all these different moves, and they would run twists in practice. I was like, man, this feels like impossible to block. Like, how do these guys block all this movement and all these guys doing all these different techniques? And then when you get to the NFL, it's just a whole another monster, because not only are those guys just the peak at their position in the world, but there's guys that could be 10 years older than you and been playing for 10 plus extra years. So you can imagine how much better a player can be at 32 as opposed to 22,
Ben, we only got a couple seconds left. Really appreciate you joining us. One last question. You are clearly the most famous offensive tackle in St. Aloysius history. Who is number 2, me or Drake Dorbeck?
I think I'm going to have to give it to Drake, brother. Sorry.
I'll take it. I'll take being number 3 in that list, though. That's a good list of former flashes. Ben Brown, really appreciate your time. Best of luck next week at the Super Bowl, and you can see if you can bring home another Lombardi Trophy to New England.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Really enjoyed that. Hope you guys did as well. The podcast also brought to you by Advantage Business Systems, absms.com. Tell them I sent you for all of your Mississippi office technology needs anywhere in the state. Office technology, absms.com. We'll be live Tuesday after the basketball game, Tuesday night after the game. We'll talk about whatever comes up between now and then. There's a lot going on in the world of Ole Miss sports, so we will talk about that live together on Tuesday night. I'll see you then. Really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment, all that good stuff. Did I say subscribe again? Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave a comment and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys on the next one. And again, live Tuesday night. See you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.